Save the day! And what business do you have here, legal assistant? Ha! And I was actually starting to worry. But it's just a legal assistant, a woman even. First and foremost, there is no place for women in the Supreme Court. I'm well aware of that. Please just spare me 5 minutes of your time. This is a piece of evidence I must deliver to the defense. Too late. This trial is already over, save for the sentencing. You get 5 minutes and not a second more. Your Honor. Oof. Thank you very much. I don't know. After all, I don't know how long I was muted. I'm so sorry. I don't know. After all, I wasn't here to listen to the trial. Oh, that's right. Characteristics, reactions to, and effects on the human body of Coureur. Coureur? Coureur? What is that? I've never heard of it. Time's up. I demand that this malcontent legal assistant be me. I demand that this malcontent legal assistant be removed from the court at once. I hadn't the time to do more than glance over the document, but I did provide a simplified summary of its contents at the front. Please take a look through for yourselves, if you would like. Got it. Thank you so much. Gisele's report has been filed on the court record. Yeah, exactly. That's what, yep. Now then, I wish you good fortune. Thanks. Oh, I got beeped at. Hey, thanks, Hardened Ghost. We cannot keep our British guest waiting any longer. I will ask you one last time. Does either the prosecution or defense wish to present any more evidence? Of course not. This trial already has more than enough evidence. Naruhodo, you no longer have the liberty of choice. This is quite literally your final chance. Yeah, I know. Your Honor, please allow us to present this piece of evidence. I recognize that fire in your eyes. That's the steadfast fire of a Japanese man who doesn't know the meaning of retreat. Witness, Miss Brett, may I ask you a question? Oh dear, what? Would you be willing to stay with us just a short while longer? I do appreciate the invitation. But it's almost time for my afternoon tea, thus I have to excuse myself. Miss Brett, I ask politely out of respect towards you and your homeland. You may not have understood me, but I will not take no for an answer. I can't help but think. You Japanese all defy basic logic. I'm sorry to impose, my lady. Now, attorney. Present new evidence that you believe warrants further investigation. This, obviously. I want to look at it, though. Okay. Fovered from a vine, now classified. It is known to grow in jungles of the Amazon since ancient times. The natives of that land have used it to hunt. Even a very small doses instantly paralyzes all muscles in the body, a fatal and deadly poison. The poison is effective when it enters the body through a wound such as that inflicted by a blow dart. Since its effect paralyzes all muscles in the body, it is being considered for its use as an anesthetic. But due to paralysis of the body, allowing patients to breathe is a problem that would need to be resolved. Okay. Yeah, that. Honestly. Giselle Brett. It appears you are conducting research in Dr. Watson's research facilities. And what's more, you happen to be researching a deadly poison. Strange coincidence, huh? What? Deadly poison? What's the meaning of this? Its name is Courier. I would want to roll the R, but it's really not. It is a deadly poison that requires only a small dose to cause certain death. What manner of joke is this? You must have gone off the deep end. Courier? I've never heard of a poison like that. I'm pretty sure I have. Of course you haven't. What? There's no reason that you would know what it is. After all, until today, this poison was never known to exist in the Japanese Empire. It was never known to exist? Yes, in other words, the Imperial Police can examine all they like, but they'd never be able to detect this poison. Simply because the methods to detect it haven't been developed in Japan. What? Order in the court. Do poisons as terrifying as that really exist? According to these research documents written by Miss Brett, the hunting tribes of South America have used this poison to hunt since ancient times. For the researchers and medical students in Europe, this seems to be common knowledge. They hunt with poison? It's a deadly poison extracted from the bark of the trees that grow in the Amazon jungle. It was discovered after explorers brought some back to Europe. If you were to be hit by a blow dart smeared with this poison would kill you instantly. Isn't that right, miss? Your claims are all nonsense. First off, if the victim was poisoned, then he would have been writhing in pain. Everyone in the restaurant would have noticed. Indeed. Your thoughts, detective? Certainly, if a man was writhing in pain, I would have been on the scene immediately. Come to think of it, I don't remember the doctor being in pain. According to these documents, the complete opposite should be expected. What? The opposite? The victim did not exhibit any manner of being in pain. That in and of itself could be evidence that Courier was used. What do you mean by that? Please explain. The instant this poison enters the body, it will paralyze all muscles. In other words, you would lose the ability to move any of your limbs. Even if the victim felt any pain, he or she would not be able to express it. My word! Of course, if he lost control of his muscles, the victim would collapse. However, if he used a chair to prop the body up, and bystanders would be none the wiser. But Asogi, there's something I don't quite understand. How does paralyzing only the muscles result in an instant death? Because the heart is a muscle. You might regret asking that question. Of course, the victim can no longer move once the poison takes hold. Remember, your respiratory system needs to use muscles as well. The poison prevents that. Then you wouldn't be able to breathe? In short, the most accurate cause of death would be suffocation. Ooh. Ooh. For several minutes, the victim is still conscious but unable to move or cry for help. Inconceivable! To any onlookers, it would seem like a painless sleep like instant death. But for the victim, I couldn't imagine a more cruel death. Jesus. Oh my god. That's the truth of Courier. Goodness. What? The first death is so gruesome. It's terrible. And it's the first case. Then this glass bottle, does it really contain that cruel, deadly poison? That's enough nonsense from you. We don't know the poison, so we can't detect it. Don't play games with me. Excuse me, may I speak? A student quibbling with nonsensical theories? How about you, like... The one who ought to be learning is you. Yes, ma'am. Is this how you Japanese always handle things? What do you mean? Stealing a lady's research documents, waving them around as if they were your discovery. Barbaric isn't strong enough a word to describe you monsters. Oof, that's racist! Rest assured that we feel the same way about you. Why would you filthy ants think you could look down on me? Taking advantage of those less learned to get away with murder. That sounds barbaric enough to me. Do you disagree, milady? All of that aside, I ouchie refuse to accept your claims. You claim this fair lady is the wielder of a poison that we don't even know of? What a farce! What's so funny? Excuse me, Your Honor, was it? Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that glass bottle for a moment? Yes, I suppose that's fine. She's gonna drink it, isn't she? And then she's gonna prove that it's not poison. Fuck. Is it the classic, the poison was in the ice cubes or something? Oh no. You little Japanese kittens should learn to not be so conceited. I really hate you. You're a bad person. What are you on about now? From a British woman's perspective, this farce is nothing more than child's play. Fraudulent police and a perpetual husk of a court, it's laughable. But it's about time we end this childish game. She's gotta drink it! Cheers! Damn it! Fuck! What are you doing? Mere carbonated water, now flat. Fitting indeed for such a dull court as this. Oh my. What's the matter? You all look like you've seen a ghost. Then, there was no Curare inside that glass bottle? Your face tells me that you can't believe it. But that's the truth. I must thank you for presenting the results of my research in your Supreme Court. You've done a fine job, little boy. Now, your honor. Your attorney. Your honor. Yes, ma'am? May I finally take my leave this time? I think I've cooperated enough with you for one day, even if it's for the sake of our empires. I apologize, my lady. Words cannot express my gratitude. Me right now? That's impossible. There had to have been poison inside that bottle. So then how? How could she drink it all and still be standing there alive and well? I don't understand. I'm glad I had the chance to enjoy this one-act comedy here on this tiny island in the Far East. My friends in Britain are sure to laugh at this lovely little story. I don't think that's a funny story! Did that bottle contain poison or not? And if it did, then why is she still standing? I should already have all the clues needed to answer this question. Is there really a deadly poison contained within that bottle? Within the bottle? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think something else had to have been poisoned. Because she's fine, and she just drank out of it. There's not. I guess there wasn't any poison in the bottle. What? Naruhodo. Well, if there was, then she should be dead. Sometimes your naivete is mystifying. It leaves me in a fog. Maybe you should be a clear, dark night, like our school's uniform. Is that really what our uniform is supposed to represent? I'll have to give you a penalty for that reckless statement. Damn! Okay. So there is poison? Does she have any... Did she build up a tolerance to it? She had to... Interesting. There is. The culprit laced Dr. Watson's carbonated drink with Courier. No, the defense insists on this claim. What? You amateur, what are you getting at now? There was no way the bottle could have had any poison in it. Just because she drank it of her own volition. Indeed, it's an obvious contradiction. There may very well be an explanation for that contradiction. What? Let's think about this mystery step by step. The answer must be in the court record. Now, defendant, no, you deserve to be called an attorney. I ask that you present your evidence. Why is the witness still standing after drinking water laced with Courier? I don't know. Ingesting it doesn't kill you. And since he had a tooth removed, it could enter the wound. Ingesting it doesn't kill you. The answer we need, of course, within the witness's research documents. That couldn't give us any kind of answer. After all, this document in the English language are impossible for us to understand. You impertinent amateur, do not ridicule me. I can read it. I'm not trying to ridicule you, and I'm not putting on airs. Indeed, this document is far too large for us to read here. Defense, I suggest you be more specific. Where is the document is the answer we see. Characteristics, I think. But I'll check. They were wound, yeah. Also, how old is my new Maya? She's 16. Little baby! She's adorable. I love her. Okay. It's on the characteristics page. Up until now, I've heard a lot about Courier. And there's just one thing that caught my attention. And what was that? Primitive tries use this poison to hunt. They smear blow darts with poison before shooting their prey. Indeed, that seems correct so far. Naturally, these hunters proceed to eat their kills, right? So what are you getting at? Think about it. The carcass still has traces of the poison in its blood. That's right. Normally, people wouldn't eat meat tainted with poison, right? You can say that again. I wouldn't dream of eating something like that. That's when I realized. In this document, there's an explanation under characteristics. It states that symptoms only occur when the poison enters through a wound. A wound? The specificality of it caught my eye. In other words, the truth to be discerned from this document is this. Courier, when entered through a wound, is a deadly poison. However, when ingested, Courier is completely harmless. What? Miss Brett, you knew of Courier's special characteristics. That's why you could drink it all with such overflowing confidence. You impudent little... Whoa, it's a real spawn. Damned brat. Oh! Naruhodo. You're far exceeding my expectations. You really do have potential as an attorney. Asogi, do I? An attorney? As if such a convenient poison actually exists in the first place. If that's the case, then why? Look, an ignorant little monkey thinks he's grasped real intelligence for the first time. But all you can do is swing it around ineptly like a new toy. Cut to the chase. There's a fatal contradiction in that sloppy claim of yours, little boy. Little boy... Contradiction. As you may have guessed, Courier is a poison that's safe to drink. We believe that it's neutralized when it reacts with stomach acid. It totally makes sense, doesn't it? What's this about stomach acid? However, if it's safe to drink this deadly poison, Wouldn't the good doctor have survived drinking it? No, because he had a wound in his mouth. Because he just got his tooth pulled. Indeed. That makes sense. We civilized people call this science. Do you follow so far, little boy? Yes, I follow, and you're a dumbass. Order in the court. If both of them drank the same poison, then naturally the results would be the same. Then that means the poison called Coureur has nothing to do with the incident. Exactly. Even that should be comprehensible to a little boy left behind by civilization. Stop being so racist! Jesus Christ! What is this feeling? Something is welling up inside me. Something I've never felt before. The conviction to stand up against contradictions. A feeling like that righteous anger. I'll strive with all I have. It all starts with the tip of my finger. Time to corner my prey. Can we do abduction? Yes! Don't play stupid, Giselle. Where did that fire in your eyes come from? You already know the answer. Even if both you and the victim drink from the very same bottle of water. You already know why only the victim died. You know the reason for this contradiction. I order you to present your evidence, attorney. If our witness can drink the so-called deadly poison without batting an eye, why did only the victim succumb to the poison? Because he got his tooth pulled! Present! Dr. Watson and the witness did indeed drink the same water, but don't think of the water, think of the main differences between the people who drank it. What differences do you have in mind? Coureur only becomes poisonous when it enters the blood through a wound. Thus, if a healthy person ingests it, it's entirely harmless. However, if it passed over an open wound as you drank it, what do you suppose would happen? An open wound? Yes. For example, maybe a certain someone visited the dental clinic. Maybe he had a tooth removed. Giselle, you've mentioned it a few times. You were aware that Dr. Watson had his tooth extracted. Then the witness used that to her advantage. Is she gonna have a breakdown? What's happening? Why is she laughing? Since we've come this far, I shall reiterate what I said earlier. Truly, this is like a child's game. A mock trial filled to the brim with naivety. What do you mean? This is what I mean, little boy. What? What accident might befall this precious evidence you handled over so carelessly? Don't! Allow me to teach you an important lesson. Fuck! No! Oh my. Whatever will you do? Your precious little evidence is gone now. What? What? I just get it. That Brit just smashed the bottle to pieces. It's a trial held by the Supreme Court. What disgrace is this? What are you doing, bailiff? Quickly, retrieve what water you can immediately. A futile effort. This carpet is a gift from the British Empire. It does quite a fine job of absorbing water. Then just cut a piece out of the carpet! Your methods aren't advanced enough to collect any. Safe to say, it's impossible. How could you do this? You won't get away with this. Well, no matter how hard this little boy cries and slams his desk, we will never find out whether or not the bottle contained poison for the rest of eternity. You monster! While, on the other hand, the evidence that supports my claim yet stands. Isn't that right, Sir Prosecutor? Yes, you speak of this photograph. That is right. Anyone who sees this photograph would agree. The poor doctor was sitting with his back turned to me. The only one who could shoot the victim from the front is this little boy. Here's what really happened. On that day, you used Coureur to poison the victim. Following that, in order to pin that crime on Ryunosuke Naohiro, I'm so sorry, Ryunosuke. You took action when you saw him picking up the pistol from the floor. You drew your own concealed pistol and shot the doctor's corpse. Then, in the ensuing chaos, all you had to do was rotate the chair around with the body. With that in mind, you're still a suspect. You've got quite an imagination, little boy. I concealed a pistol. I shot his corpse. There's no evidence in the world that could prove that. Exactly. As long as there isn't any evidence, the prosecution's stance will not change. The victim, Dr. Watson, was shot by Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I fucking hate you. You're the worst. You know it wasn't me. The defendant is the one and only suspect. Darn it, this is absurd. We've come so far, and now she's going to get away like this? All we can do is watch as she destroys evidence for her own gain. Naruhodo. Asogi. I've helped you come this far, but now the trial is in your hands. Huh? Why me? We've lost our decisive evidence. Right now, if there are any final clues, they can only be within your mind. Within my mind. Remember? You said at least you had confidence in your observational skills. But of course, we could just forget that I managed to overlook the flashy Western diva. Think back to the moment of the crime. Remember when what you saw, what you felt, even the colors and the smells. What I saw and what I felt. Even the colors. There was blood on the plate. There's blood on the plate. I wonder, does the answer really lie dormant within my own chromatic memories? A clue that points towards the culprit who shot Dr. Watson does exist. Asogi, I think I may have found it. The clue that lies dormant within my memories. Truly, you never cease to amaze. Take that clue and shove it in their faces. Right, I'll do just that. There's one strange feeling that lies dormant within my memories. Could that be the key that opens the door to the truth? The clue that reveals the true culprit. Blood, obviously. Oops, I guess I'll save. I didn't mean to, but that's fair. Present. Oops. Oh, oops. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I know that's not right. I'm so sorry. Damn it. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Misclicked. It's the blood. Detective Hosonaga, I've got a question for you. Yes? How can I help you? It looks like he was still in shock from that glass bottle shattering. As I recall, you claim that you always strive for perfection, right? Exactly. Then, Detective, is it safe to assume that you confiscated everything from the scene? Including, perhaps, the beefsteak plate that was left on the victim's table? Hold on. What manner of joke is this? It's no joke. This is all about my memories. What of your memories? At the time, I was an eyewitness too. I saw what was shown in this photograph of the scene. Notice the wooden slab being used to carry the beefsteak. I saw blood on it. What? So? I'm sure it splattered onto it after you shot the doctor. No, because there was no exit wound. Wrong. Try again. Take a closer look at how everything and everyone is arranged in the photo. The beefsteak plate is more or less located directly behind the victim. If I shot the doctor from the front, then it would be impossible for the blood to splash into the plate behind him. I see. If there are bloodstains on the plate, then that would mean the person who shot the victim would be the one sitting on the other side of the table. That would be none other than Giselle Brett. What? The audacity of such a ridiculous claim is galling. Your own memories? Do you really expect us to believe a murderer's tales? I, Satoru Hosonaga. I believe that I became a detective for the sake of this very moment. Detective Hosonaga? Then you mean... Of course I did indeed bring it with me, all in the name of honest crime scene preservation. Call me a crime scene thief if you must. I even took the half-eaten meat. What? This lady's meal, even the soldier's meal. I confiscated it all indiscriminately in the name of justice. The name of justice! Present it for the inspection right now. We have to see if Giselle's plate had blood on it. Justice! Detective! I order you to present the beefsteak that was at the victim's table on the day of the incident. Yes, sir! Yes! I apologize for the delay. This is the beefsteak in question. So what about the blood? Did you find any? It's impossible. It can't be there. Quickly now, present it to the court. Show us all that blood. Very well. Look to your heart's content. There's no blood, is there? Damn it! Where's the blood? I don't see any. No. No! Why? I know I saw it. I swear it was there. The plate of beefsteak was right behind the doctor, and there was blood on it. Fuck you. You gotta see the look on your face, little boy. Everyone in the civilized world knows that the Japanese can't be trusted. Jesus Christ. I couldn't agree more, you damn... You are Japanese! The court has now reached a conclusion once and for all. But of course, as for this pitiful mock trial, let's just forget this ever happened, shall we? Look at it all you want, but you'll never find any blood in this sorry piece of meat. Look at it. Look at it with your sorry eyes. Beefsteak plate has been filed in the court record. I will! Was the blood I saw only an illusion? I will look at it. What? What is that? This is a koban, judging by the seal. I guess it's from the Hoei era. No, that's not the point. Why was there a koban sitting under the beefsteak? Hold on a second. Did you say Hoei era? That's right. It's covered in meat sauce, but that wouldn't decrease its value. Koban from the Hoei area. Where have I heard that before? I've heard of the pearls before swine, but gold before bovine would be a first. I really doubt you'll ever hear that again. Honestly, it's incredible that we even found this. Yeah, okay. Look at the engraving on this plate. Maybe it's a cat? It's a bull. Yeah, beefsteak truly is the king of Western cuisine. All Western-style restaurants have plates with customized engravings like this. Then this must be the signature of the restaurant. What? Is that it? Is that all I can investigate about this? Okay. Back. This time, it's certain we've lost. Haruhodo? The gavel still hasn't swung on your fate. Huh? Believe in yourself. Keep looking forward until the bitter end. Believe in myself? There's only one thing left to do. I need to look it over one more time. No issues were found with the evidence requested by the defense. Therefore, the inspection of all evidence in question ends here. Do you have any objections, attorney? The Bloodstain was supposed to be the finishing blow. Are there any more clues I can find in the doctor's beefsteak? There are. Oh no! Whoops! Fuck! Common sense tells me I won't find any more clues from this. Common sense also dictates that you, a rank amateur at best, would never have been able to fight this far. Sogi. Only those who refuse to let opportunity pass them by have the ability to seize it. Look at the beefsteak again. Never say die, Naruhodo. So I need to examine the evidence even closer. It would seem the defense has gone completely silent. I shall take this silence to be their final answer. Your Honor, please wait. This beefsteak right here. It still holds a shocking truth within it. Or under it, more so. The only shocking thing here is your abnormal obsession with that beefsteak. Your Honor, I'm sure you're aware, but we can talk about boring little details all day, but it will never amount to anything. I need to read the buttons that push more carefully. We've come this far, it's only fair to inspect every piece of evidence fully. This is the decision held by the Supreme Court. My sincerest apologies, milady. I thought we were allies. Are you sure that was the right thing to say? Your Honor. The court orders the defense to explain further. Point out the lead you say was hidden in the beefsteak dish on the victim's table. That. What's that? Fuck. Damn it, I'm sorry! It's the coin under- I won't accept such an ambiguous answer at the point in the trial. Please present evidence that are relevant to the case you're currently making. The answer is right there in front of me. There's only one thing I can do now. I have to look it over again from top to bottom. The court orders the defense to explain further. Point out the lead you say was hidden in the beefsteak. There's nothing on the bottom. Yeah. Okay. There's something under it. Come on. It's a coin. Damn it. Examine. Okay, there we go. I had to examine it while we were doing this. I'm a fool. It's the coin. This is, Koban? What in the world is that? This is a Hoei-era Koban. Dazale? This is, allegedly, the beefsteak you were eating before you murdered John Watson. Could you explain why something like this was hidden under the meat? What are you talking about? As if I would know. I've never seen that before. Don't bring me into your Japanese nonsense. Who cares about that? It's just a Koban under the meat. I'm sure it wound up there by coincidence due to some chef's carelessness. What kind of kitchen randomly gets something like this mixed in with their food? When we happened to turn up the steak, there was a Hoei-era Koban wedged underneath. If this really has no relation to the incident, then I will gladly quit the exchange program. He has a point. Excuse me, Your Honor. What is it, attorney? When we turned over the meat, we found a Koban under it. If this really has nothing to do with the incident, then I will gladly step down as an attorney. No one asked you to be the one in the first place. If you want to stop, then go right ahead. The only thing here that has nothing to do with the incident is you, little boy. Ugh. Then why am I on trial? In any case, we must find the owner of this Koban and listen to what he has to say. The owner of this Koban? Yeah, now that I think about it, there's only one man it could belong to. The owner of this Koban, hidden underneath the beefsteak, is none other than... this guy. That would be the owner of the Hall of Discard Antique Shop, Sanman Sono Higurashi. Sono, how typical of the Japanese to have such bizarre names. As I recall, that's the name of the old man who testified alongside the soldier earlier. Yes, Your Honor. Indeed, he mentioned a Koban earlier. He testified that when the crime occurred, crept under the table and heard a sharp gunshot shortly thereafter. What were you doing down there? Searching for a lost item. Koban, a precious coin from the Hoei era. Then this must be his. Wait, why would a Koban from an antique shop end up hidden underneath the beefsteak on the victim's dining table? I think we should hear the reason for that from the owner of the Koban himself. Bailiff, have the two witnesses from earlier be brought back here as soon as possible. Find them immediately. My goodness. Who would have thought those two would come back up at this point? In any case, call it a hunch, but I'm almost certain. If I can explain why this Koban was under the beefsteak, I have no doubt that this will lead the way to the truth behind this incident. Oh my god. This is a long first trial. Welcome back. What business do you have with me now? It is time for me, Uzukumaru, to feed my son, Kuromaru, his meal. When my boy gets hungry, he's even more ferocious than a street mutt. When we, treated as mere dogs of the police, were revealed to have borne false witness, we were branded as discard ourselves before being banished from these halls of judgment. Heretofore, have I decided, thus shall I carry on into my twilight, never more to utter a word. Please confirm one thing for us, owner of the Hall of Discard. Have you seen this Koban before? Oh! That truly is indeed, no doubt that is indeed truly, the glimmering, glowing Hoei relic that I lost in that abominable day. What? I knew it. Young one, would you enlighten the senile old fool who knows not how much time he has yet left? Where did you find my fallen rare treasure disappear to? Where did my... Oh my god. I don't know if fallen is the right term for it, but... Your Koban was wedged between a spicy piece of meat and an iron plate. What? It was between meat and an iron plate, you say? Needless to say, it is impossible for a coin to fall into such a place. In other words, someone was hiding it there. My Koban was hidden between a piece of meat and an iron plate. Who was it? Who committed this atrocious act? With all due respect, may I say something? Yes, of course. You may. As you all know, I infiltrated the restaurant as a waiter in order to secretly investigate a series of incidents. Oh yes, you did mention an undercover investigation. The restaurant is high class, where foreigners and wealthy customers gather. Recently, a certain individual started stealing from customers using a similar tactic. Indeed, that's what was reported at the Imperial Police Headquarters. The world is full of despicable cowards, to be sure. It's him, obviously. Many of the victims are foreigners, thus we were ordered to resolve the matter post-haste. So the reason you infiltrated the restaurant... Yes, I disguised myself as a waiter to catch this detestable, atrocious individual red-handed. It's plausible that this Koban was another one of the thief's targets. There's a great thief at the restaurant. We were unaware of this. I suppose this restaurant has already seen enough crime. Whether they can be called a great thief is up for debate. Only one great thief. Kay is the only great thief. The identity of the individual who hid the Koban is obvious. What? Really? Alright, defense. Let's hear it then. The detestable thief that stole this old man's Koban and hid it under the beefsteak is... our man's, right? I'm gonna save. of course, it couldn't be anyone but you. Surgeon Uzukumaru. You little delinquent. I've heard enough. Delinquent. Koban thief, great thief of the restaurant. You're really going to indict my son, Kurumaru? He's the culprit? No! How could you pin your own crimes on an innocent baby? That's awful. You're the most delinquent one in this court, Sergeant Uzukumaru. What is happening right now? A broke. Okay. Imperial Army Surgeon Uzukumaru reporting for duty. Do you even know? Do you know how shockingly little the Empire pays its soldiers to protect our lands? Indeed, the temporary tax increases from our last war have yet to be repealed. I'm told that low-ranking soldiers are living especially destituous lives. Desolate? All I wanted was to be able to give my son warm food. So you decided to start stealing from others. The restaurant caters for the wealthy. Once every 3 days, I visit the restaurant to hunt for my prey. All the while, biting off chunks of that delectable beefsteak. Sure enough, he doesn't look like someone who could use a knife and fork. So you did steal the Koban. I did. Stealing from him was easier than taking candy from the baby. I deposited the coin in my pocket. Quite the great thief indeed. I moved to escape, leaving behind my half-eaten beefsteak. Suddenly, a murder unfolded before you. If someone happened to check my pockets, my reputation would be ruined. Horrified by the very idea, I hid the Koban. I shoved it under the beefsteak, hoping that I might find it again someday. This is ridiculous. I grow incredibly wary of being forced to bear witness to such a worthless farce of a trial. Dazale. Oh, how improper of us. This time I swear to end this senseless bore of a trial. All I ask is that you go home with a smile on your face, my lady. Indeed. This child-ridden soldier was the one who stole the coin. But I can't say with confidence that this theft is related to the murder. Exactly. What kind of barbarian would hide a coin under meat? Only the Japanese, I suppose. I hate you so much. Barbarian. Even worse, he gnawed at it without using so much as a knife and fork. Even the barbarians are more civilized than you lot. Britain spit on that kind of conduct. Jesus Christ, I hate you a lot. Why are you so racist? Now that all doubts have been cleared from that testimony, the court will allow the witness to leave. You are free to return, my lady. Then I shall be taking my leave. I bid you all farewell. Ciao. What's wrong, Naruhodo? This is no time to be daydreaming. Well, something about Gisele's parting words just bothered me is all. I can't get my mind off it. It's like when I found the contradiction in her testimony earlier. Then you have to speak. Don't overthink it. Don't even think about it at all. Huh? You can think after you talk. Now object before the trial ends. Giselle, wait. Is there still something you need? This is my last question, Giselle. I mean it. I just need you to explain one thing for me. There was a contradiction in your parting words. I need you to explain that. Come again? What contradiction? I don't know. What are you trying to pull? What do you mean, Naruhodo? Did you notice something about her parting words? What kind of barbarian would hide a coin under meat? Only the Japanese, I suppose. Even worse, he gnawed at it without using so much as a knife and fork. Even the barbarians are more civilized than you are. Britain spit on that kind of conduct. I knew it. There's definitely a decisive contradiction in there. Very well, attorney. I order you to present your evidence. Show us the evidence that proves that there is a contradiction in her statements. Is it because there wasn't any marks on her fork? I don't know how important that is. I don't know if that matters. I'll try to present it, though. This is the photograph taken immediately following the incident, yes? Feast your eyes on the beefsteak plate on their dining table. Next, look here. And this is the beefsteak that Miss Brett was eating before the crime, correct? To be more precise, this is the beefsteak on the victim's table at the time of the incident. What does it matter? They both mean the same thing. If you look closely, you might notice something unusual about this beefsteak. What? What's unusual about it? That would be the way the meat was cut, of course. Have you caught on yet, Giselle? Oh, because it looks like bite marks, not knife marks. Now, Giselle made a strange claim before. She said that she would never bite into a beefsteak without using a knife and fork. Well, of course, she's a lady after all. Then, look at the way the meat was cut. Yeah, it was bit. It was bitten. As you can see, these patterns are animalistic bite marks. Looks like she's seen her mistake, too. If the witness had elegantly eaten her meal with a knife and fork, then the beefsteak wouldn't have crude bite marks like this. But regardless of how she ate it, what are you getting at? Maybe the lady was so famished that she couldn't help but... Oh, what does it matter, milady? Jeez. I really must excuse myself. I'll be late for my afternoon tea date with the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Oh, but I promise you this trial will be over very... How old is she? She's 24. So she's around the same age as me. Because I assume I'm around the same age as my friend. Leave it to me, Prosecutor Algie, and I will render this... Shut your mouth, four-eyed samurai scum. Yes, ma'am. She's really losing her composure now. It looks like she's finally starting to understand. She knows what the bite marks imply. What? Naruhodo? This time, the puzzle's really coming together. First, she claims to use a fork and knife, but her steak is covered in bite marks. Then, the bloodstain I remember somehow disappeared. And now, I have evidence that can prove who the culprit is, the one who really shot Dr. Watson. Indeed, those bite marks may be unusual. But I still failed to see what this clears up. Why, it clears up everything, of course. Everything? I'd wager that these disgusting bite marks are connected to a decisive piece of evidence. The evidence that will finally prove who shot Dr. Watson. I am fed up listening to you prattle on. What decisive evidence could you possibly have? It doesn't exist! It's so like you Japanese to try a cheap bluff like this. What makes you so sure about that? Simple. Had such a thing existed, it would have been presented long ago. Yes, you're right that it hasn't been presented yet. What? But even if it hasn't been presented, that evidence still exists. That's absurd. Who keeps evidence hidden this far into the trial? This sort of thing just doesn't happen. But I know exactly the person who possesses such evidence. Once I request that evidence, the entire mystery surrounding this incident will be resolved. Very well, this will be my last request to you, attorney. Tell us who holds the final piece of evidence that will expose the truth. I'm guessing our detective man, right? He has the other plate, I'm sure. Of course, that would be Detective Hosonaga. What do you mean, of course? Huh? I would never conceal evidence. There's preposterous. No, that's not what I meant. I'd like everyone to focus on this. The bite marks on this beefsteak. The bite marks. Earlier, Sergeant Izukumaru said this, biting off chunks of that delectable beefsteak. Then, he stole the koban and hid it under the beefsteak. What do you think you're doing, kid? Think you can fight a soldier? Sergeant, I have a question for you. Just to make sure. You did hide this koban under your own beefsteak, right? Of course! While I may be a soldier, I have not the gall to just slip something under a lady's meal right in front of her. In other words, Detective Hosonaga actually presented your own beefsteak to the court. But isn't that strange? This beefsteak was found on the victim's table. She claims to have used a fork and knife, and she has no way to steal the koban. Of course not. The very thought is an insult to the Great British Empire. If all of this is true, what are we supposed to make of this contradiction? Oh, I see now. Are you saying the sergeant switched his own meal with the victims? No. I'm not. You fool. You moron. Buffoon. I can't wait to never have to deal with you again. I don't know who my prosecutor is going to be, but I'm going to be glad when it's not you. The truth is, at the time of the incident, when the man was murdered right in front of me, my mind went blank. Before I realized what I was doing, I had turned over my beefsteak and hidden the koban. That waiter came over and revealed that he was a detective preventing my escape. If that detective looked under my meat, I would have shattered my life to pieces. I saw an opening when the student was being arrested and led to the kitchen. Really? Why would you swap it with the one that was at the murder, though? I switched my beefsteak with his breaths as fast as I could. What? I didn't know anything about that. I did not witness that. I executed my strategy as fast as lightning. There was no time to think. In that moment, there was no other options. That's right. I had no choice but to do it. What? What? However, rest assured, prosecutor. Assured of what? I swear to you, as an Imperial soldier, I have now told you everything. That's my whole story. I didn't want to hear your story to begin with. It's important for the truth. It has now been established that the beefsteaks were switched. That means Sergeant Izukumaru took Miss Brett's meal and brought it to his own table. Indeed, that seems to be the case. Detective Hosonaga. Yes. I remember what you said about the beefsteaks. You collected both Giselle's and Sergeant Izukumaru's beefsteaks, right? You seized both of them as evidence. Indeed, I did. Now's the time to present the other. Show us the beefsteak tray that was on Miss Brett's table before the switch. What is this beefsteak supposed to prove? There's no way that a cold, dry, stiff piece of meat can have any relation to this incident. That simply isn't going to fly, milady. What is wrong with you? First off, you should be able to remember this. What was it that brought the beefsteaks into this debate again? Aren't you the one who brought it up? The source of this debate all began with this man's memory. His memory? At that moment, I saw it clearly. The beefsteak dish that should have been right behind Dr. Watson definitely had a bloodstain on it. I have faith in the defendant's memories. The one piece of evidence that contributes his memories, the corroborates. Oh my god, I can't talk. His memories is the lady's beefsteak plate. Very well then, detective. I hereby order you to present the other beefsteak. Show us Miss Brett's beefsteak, the one that was moved to the soldier's stable. Show us the steak. Yes, Your Honor! This blood, I see it right now. I apologize for the wait. There it is. This is the other beefsteak. Please look to your heart's content. So right there. The bloodstain. I can see it. And now you all see the truth. This bloodstain here confirms it. When the victim was shot, his back was turned to me. In other words, it is impossible for Naruhodo to have shot the victim. It can't be. The only one who could have shot Dr. Watson was in front of him at the time. And only one person meets that description. Do I need to continue? That's right. That person would be Giselle Brett. You are the culprit. I can't believe this. These damned Japanese have bested me? Shut up, shut up, shut up! Damn you. God damn you all. What is happening? Me right now. Okay. Whatever. My deepest apologies. I seem to have lost myself in a state of despair for a moment. That was most unbecoming of a lady of the great British Empire. I beg your forgiveness. Now, witness, will you finally tell us the truth? Gladly. Okay, why'd you kill Watson? Why'd you kill my man? How could you do this to him? The one who killed the good doctor with Kureir was me, of course. You all have already guessed why I chose that specific day to carry out my plan. I already knew that he would be having a tooth removed that day. So the doctor died, and if the water was investigated, no poison would be found. Because in Japan, Kureir might as well not exist. On that day, I had not planned for such a long stay in the restaurant. One sip was all I needed. I was to ensure he drank this, and that would be the end of it. First, I ordered a beefsteak to place in front of him, so that it would seem he was dining alone. But I had intended to withdraw from the scene immediately after. However, suddenly, an unexpected individual appeared. Would that be me? Yes, of course I'm referring to you. You just had to come up and say hello, even though you had no pressing business. I lost my chance to withdraw from the scene. Eventually, the doctor drank his glass and lost consciousness. I propped up his body on the chair so he wouldn't fall over and cause a scene. This was the point of no return. There, in the spur of the moment, I concocted my plan. A plan to frame the defendant for Dr. Watson's death. The doctor always carried that pistol for self-defense. I realized that I could use it to my advantage. On that day, I had brought with me a small bottle of Kureir within my handbag. But underneath my skirt, I had also concealed a pistol of my own. under your skirt. I knew it! There really were 2 pistols. Yes. Then, by the time I had finished my coffee and moved to leave the restaurant, you had already thrown his pistol on the floor, right? You put it in my line of sight. You knew I would walk by you on the way out. Just as I planned, you took notice of the stray pistol. Then, just when you picked it up, that was when you fired your hidden pistol. The doctor was already dead by that time, so you shot his corpse. The sound of the gunshot echoed within the establishment. Then, the waiter appeared. I restrained the defendant, whom I thought was the culprit, and I locked him in the storeroom at the back of the kitchen. That was my chance to turn the doctor's chair so his back was facing the table. Naturally. That was so Dr. Watson would appear as though he had been shot by the defendant. This is wild. That's all I have to say. I've told you everything about my crime. Your Honor. Yes. If you would be so kind, I would like to have a private chat with you after the trial. Very well, I will call for you. And with that, I bid all of you farewell. I hope you'll forgive me one day, Mr. Naruhodo. I won't. I hold no forgiveness in my heart. And thus, this trial seems to have finally come to a clear conclusion. Do you have any objections, Prosecutor Ouchie? Impossible! Takasuchi. Ouchie. I've been defeated by an amateur university student? Yeah, that's gotta burn. That's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. Hereafter, you walk down the prosecutor's path will be a fair bit harsher. Ryunosuke Naruhodo? Yes? I swear to you, until the end of days, the Ouchie clan would be a royal pain in your side. Oh yeah. You are correct. The prideful men of old will be toppled by the younger generation. That's the natural course of history. Make sure your descendants know that as well. Ha! Love you, Asogi. A 100 generations may pass, but your descendants will never rival those of this man. It's true! You right! On this day, this trial held within our most hallowed Supreme Court marks the beginning of a new chapter in the history of law in this country. Even standing here as your own attorney, your defense was superb. Thank you, Your Honor. In this current age, the court is where the truth is pursued through use of evidence and logic. As you all know, it has been decades since our country's borders were open to the world. Due to the knowledge brought from the West, our country now knows the concept of science. Science will breathe life into the new methods of investigation and the trials to follow. What awaits us beyond the door to the future of law? As the new generation of law, it is your responsibility to open that door. Kazuma Asogi. Yes? After this trial, you will begin your journey to the British Empire as a student of law. A vast world and a new culture awaits you. Make sure you learn from it. Can I come with? I want to come with. Accomplish the mission imposed upon you. I don't want to leave my man. I like him a lot. He's my best friend. Understood, Your Honor. What's wrong? You've gone so tense. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. And you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Sir? I cannot be sure exactly what it is, but I sense astounding potential in you. Where will you go from here? I'll be waiting at the edge of my seat. Thank you very much, Your Honor. I did it! Now then, I shall declare the final verdict for the defendant Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Not guilty. Yes! Oh, petals. Pretty. Court is adjourned. We did it! Defendant Lobby 5. Again. I can't believe I'm really standing here now. I survived a battle in the Supreme Court. Naruhodo, you've really done it. Let me be the first to congratulate you. Then let me be the first to thank you, Asogi. Your defense was exhilarating to watch. Just don't forget that you owe me an extra large beef hot pot from the UMA cafeteria. I will not forget. You owe it. You deserve it. You deserve it, my man. Brilliant work today, both of you. A not guilty verdict. Congratulations from the bottom of my heart. Hello there, legal assistant Mikutoba. You really came through for us. Oh, no, I haven't done anything. Thank you very much. If it weren't for those documents, I can't bear to imagine what might have happened. I would have gone to jail. I would have gone to prison. You should save your thanks for my father. All I did was follow his instructions to rush to the Yume University. I still don't trust him. I'm sorry. I just really, really don't. I don't know why. I just super don't trust him. Mikutoba, that would mean... Hello, everyone. Good work out there. You surprised me especially, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Thank you, sir. Oh no, I should be the one to thank you. After all, you exposed the culprit's true identity, the person who deprived my friend of his life. His friend. Come to think of it, you mentioned that earlier. You were the one that invited Dr. Watson to Yume. Yes, that is correct. Ah! Hold on. Professor Mikutoba spent several years studying in the British Empire. Is that when you came to know Dr. Watson? Yes, that is correct. We began working together at a certain hospital during my time abroad, you see. Really? I didn't know that. It's ancient history. Let's talk about something more important. He's dead! I think it's important to talk about him. Sogi, it's your turn now. The Great British Empire is the de facto ruler of the world. It is a truly grand civilization. Science, medicine, industry, culture, and even criminology. You will bear witness to what unfolds in the heart of the world. Yes, sir. I'm ready to see my mission through to the end. It'll carry the soul of the Asogi family all throughout. Are you still going to carry that katana around after you arrive in the British Empire? Of course. The katana is the heart of the Japanese people, a sharp blade that can cut through anything. It'll guide me on the road ahead. Honestly, it's frightening just how sharp that blade really is. Oh yes, come to think of it, what will happen to that woman? The true culprit behind Dr. Watson's murder, Giselle Brett. You want to know about her? To be honest, I don't like talking about it. What do you mean? Since she's a culprit, she'll be taken to trial next, right? She's leaving this country. She should be headed to Shanghai soon. What? Shanghai? She will never be judged in this empire. What? Why not? Due to the invocation of extraterritorial right. God damn it, not again! Detective Hosonaga. That was a truly wonderful display of modern trial tactics today. Let me congratulate you on your hard fight. Wait, before you do, what do you mean by invocation of extraterritorial rights? Our empire is unable to judge that foreign woman's crimes. or are unable to judge her? Then who on earth will judge her sins? Her only trial will be in the consular courts of the British Empire. Consular courts. But what a sad state of affairs this is, Professor. The Japanese alliance treaty should have rendered these rights powerless in Japan. Yes, that is correct. As long as there isn't a grave incident of political importance. Invoking one's extraterritorial rights shouldn't be so simple. Is that so? Our empires must have made some sort of secret agreement behind closed doors. It's an injustice no matter how you look at it. Giselle Brett can't be judged in this empire. I'd say she saw the trial as little more than a mere game. She knew there would be no danger to her well-being from the very beginning. What do you mean? The Great British Empire's Ministry of Foreign Affairs appealed for her extradition. The British government wants to handle this murder situation in a discreet manner. Bullshit. Moving forward, we have to be the ones to bring forth change. The world is in deep turmoil as we head towards the 20th century. Someday, the day will definitely come when the hammer of justice will be brought down upon her. Yes, it definitely will. We'll change the world until it does. Alright, let's be done with this serious talk. How about we all celebrate together this evening? Professor Mikotoba. That would be great. We won't change anything if we just stayed around looking grim. Let's celebrate Ryunosuke Naruhodo's acquittal with a blast. No blast, please. Feel free to come celebrate at the restaurant. I, Hosonaga, will make preparation for a very special dinner. Mr. Hosonaga, you're supposed to be a detective, right? Now, let's not fret over the smaller details. Let's go. Will the professor be joining us? I love you, man. Of course, I hear the cutlets at the restaurant are most exquisite. Oh my god. Then I'll go finish the procedures for Naruhodo's acquittal. Thank you very much. Our empire is powerless to try Giselle Brett in court. Does that mean we'll never know the truth? Why did she murder Dr. Watson? That's what I want to know! Sogi. What is it, Naruhodo? Let me thank you again. You really saved my life today. I didn't do anything at all. Which of us was your attorney again? Sogi, I know you'll be the best attorney in the world. I wonder about that. To tell you the truth, during that trial, I kept thinking, maybe you're the one who was meant to be an attorney all along. Huh? What are you talking about? The only time I really helped you was at the beginning of the trial. You have a talent for being an attorney. No way! I never want to go through another terrifying battle like that again. Besides, all I did was listen to what you told me. I just believed in you. That is exactly why you have a talent for it. What do you mean? Think about it, Naruhodo. What do you think it is an attorney's most valuable weapon? Trust. I guess his knowledge of the law would be pretty important. Yeah, I guess. Wrong. It's the power to believe. The power to believe. An attorney fights for his client no matter what. It all starts with belief. That's true. You believed in me. None of us are omnipotent, and that includes me. I'm only human. Despite that, I have to believe in something when I'm standing at the defense bench. In court, when you're backed into a corner and you have nowhere left to turn, it's hard to keep believing in what you must believe in. It's definitely not something that just anyone could do. To believe in your client. And today, you believed in an amateur student like me to the end. Huh? No matter how many desperate situations you were thrust into, you didn't stop carrying on. You never doubted my words, and you seized the truth with your own hands. Asogi. Naruhodo, that's actually something I want to talk to you about. I, Kazuma Asogi, have a heartfelt request for you. What's with all the sudden formality? Oh, are both of you still here? Oh, Detective Hosonaga. I've gotten a rickshaw for us. Now let us depart. I see. My apologies. We should get going now. Take me with you to Europe. Oh, Hodo, let's talk about that later. For now, let's go celebrate your victory. And don't forget about your trip to the British Empire, too. Yes, you're right. That, too. Hey, we did it. Thus, my very first courtroom battle drew to a close. Asogi, Professor Mikutoba, and even Susato, the legal assistant. Thanks to all their help, I was able to fight until I was declared innocent. But little did I know that Asogi's request would cause a huge change in my life, setting me on the path I walk now. I never realized it at the time. That request was where it all began. Hey, we did it! We can end the stream! We did the first case! Oh geez, that was longer than I thought it was gonna be. The next case, The Adventure of Unbreakable Speckled Band. What does that even mean? Okay, thanks. Yes, I do. I did it! Okay. That's it for now. I might stream tomorrow too. We'll see. Goodbye. Wait, I think I can actually wave. Hold on. Can I wave? Bye!